Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to a review of Rich Girl Caretaker Episode 7. Now, today's episode of Rich Girl Caretaker tells you I have a theme here. It's called marriage. The thing is, marriage proposals, And it's crazy because in order to keep the peace, one rich girl got to marry a rich guy. Arranged marriage. That's the word I was thinking. An arranged marriage. When I think about that, arranged marriage, you know what one anime that kind of synced in me? And it's an underrated rom-com, and it should got another season or so. Have you ever watched Love and Lies? And if you watch Love and Lies, and I remember this carefully, it was about a guy, basically the whole world is like, once you get the application, this is your lover, and you're supposed to marry that person. That's what's called Love and Lies. But deep down, you only do this because of the contract. You don't know that person, but it's there, but you love the other girl. That's what makes it interesting. Love and Lies. Go watch that show. And that's what this is, arranged marriages. Now, Itsuki, and Itsuki is very unsettling with this whole arranged marriage for his friends, because you gotta understand, he admired these three girls. He admired them. I mean, he could have a rich girl harem on the side. Think about this, with three rich girls and him, he could be an all-time trillionaire, even more. But, he's very kind, very thoughtful, very resourceful, this whole range. Like, I can imagine later on in his episodes, if Hinako, I swear I'm going to be loving this. If Hinako gets announced that she gets an arranged marriage, you know damn well Itsuki is going to take away from his being a caretaker to being a freaking boyfriend. But that's here or there. But this episode really focus on Mirai for a bit, because this is Mirai's story. Her backstory, being helpful and thoughtful to Itsuki. It just tells you like the rise and the development that Mirai has for Itsuki. It just told you that she likes him. And like I said, when it comes to rom-com, there's always gonna be that little bit of another crush. And like we did. So without further ado, let's get right to the review. Now, last week we got to introduce the mother and the father. We really got to introduce them. Really nice family, no problem whatsoever. I really like the family. I really do. Especially the mom. Like, damn, the mom is freaking hot. And I can't think of one bad thing I could say about the mom. Now, one bad thing. She is freaking gorgeous. But again, going back, like I said, Mirai's parents were so, like, there, chill, like, more helpful, while the father and Hinako, he kind of, But when Itsuki came home because of the storm weather, he came to see Hinako. And Hinako, in her chibiness strikes again. She's in the covers, like there's like a little bit of covers, like she's like this. She's in her covers, like just waiting and pantering, like, and literally just thinking about, like, oh, you went to her house. You could actually see the development she has. Like, she went from patting her head all nonchalant to like actually freaking caring for Itsuki. And you know from like the previous episodes when Itsuki and Naruka, childhood friends and whatnot, and they're talking, you can see Hinako jealousy. So in this, when he came back home from spending a night at her house, she was so freaking jealous. Hinako is like, that's my man. That's my caretaker, not yours. And the funny thing is, she is so like into it. Like the fact that she was under the covers and her cheapiness and starts sniffing it, like, it's like, oh my god, that's so oh, the cheapiness never formed. But he did it because he didn't want to fail what happened 2 weeks ago. So he trying to practice manners. And having him sit across, he's sit mad far and just practicing adequately, cutting the fork right, sitting properly, sipping a tea, all that kind of thing, being fancy, like, his manners has improved a lot. But Hinako's like, just relax. Only do it when we have company. There's just us two. So instead of sitting far here, just sit with me. Just sit with me. Just sit next to me. That's all. Just be friends, Forget the caretakerness. But it was nice to see Hinako at her defense. Now, arranged marriage. This is where the arranged marriage comes in. Every princess, well, no. I gotta put it like, I'm gonna compare this to a Disney princess, Jasmine. You know how in Aladdin, Jasmine, Disney princess, one of the hottest Disney princesses of all time. You know how like the Sultan always trying to bring a rich guy to Jasmine, and Jasmine refused. You know, that's what this kind of looks like. You gotta marry a prince. She doesn't want that. You see, that's what I'm looking at from here. The whole arranged marriage idea that allow people to meet up and just talk, all this arranged marriage. And Itsuki is not fond of it. You gotta remember, there's Hinako, Mirai, and there's Naraka. And to say the least, he feels unsettling that this arrangement, you don't even know the person, yet you arrange this marriage. And he's like, this is not right. Now, the whole premise of this episode, like I said, was Itsuki and Mirai just practicing manners, studying, and dancing, especially dancing. And you can see in Itsuki's face that he was absolutely blushing. He doesn't want to be close to her boobs. And like I said, remember I said fan service saves anime. We got a little we got some, so far throughout these episodes, we got some minor fan service. It's not big. It's not as big like High School DxD, big as Shimano Testament, those kind of big. This is like mini rom-com fan service that you're gonna see. Like Tomo-chan is a girl. They have many fan service shots. This right here is one of them. So as he got closer, he see all the sweat going down to her. I'm like, yo. And he's pulling away. And it's one of those classic rom-coms. He's like, no, I don't want to see. But yeah. But it was nice, nice to see him practicing how to dance so that when the ballroom actually happens and Hinako asks for a dance, it's gonna get better. Now for Mirai's standpoint, this episode kind of surprised me about her backstory. You see, she's adopted. That's the one thing, isn't it? I'm serious. I'm being serious. I did not know that. I thought maybe her father or mother dyed her hair, because when we first saw her last week, when I first saw her parents last week, I'm like, oh, brown hair, black hair, she got blonde hair. And I'm thinking to myself, maybe you dyed your hair, maybe the mom dyed her hair, I don't know, maybe it's your stepmom or your like your stepmother was blonde hair, I don't know. But we found out kind of darker, but we found out she is adopted. And she's not in the blood family of her family, but she's doing this for the family. Like, they treat her so well that she's willing to do this. Now, I understand Itsuki is unsettling with this. I get it. But to keep the flow of her family, though, she has to get married. And this is where it's kind of like, for Itsuki's standpoint, like, he doesn't know if he want to step in. Now, this is where Itsuki is gonna step in. I feel like he's gonna step in for most of these arranged marriages for his friends. I see it. I don't think it's gonna be that. I don't think it's gonna be unsettling, but I think he's gonna find ways to find. His message is saying, you don't have to marry this person. You can marry someone whatever you want. You can marry someone who you love, not just arranged marriage. That's what it is. And you can see in Mirai's face with her mother, you can see that she actually has feelings for Itsuki. Turning her head the other way, wanted a perfect boyfriend, husband like Itsuki, and every time she brings it up, it's like she has feelings for him. That's what we see in this. But overall, though, this episode was really good. I mean, again, I like Mirai. I don't think there's not one bad character in this rich girl caretaker. Everybody's playing their part really well. Itsuki and Mirai had their beautiful time together, through studying, teaching them how to eat manners properly, dance, equity, those kind of things. Itsuki stepped up. He actually has. Now, the Mirai arc is now, and so now, I don't know if he's gonna, I think next week's episode is gonna be another arc, but seeing Mirai, oh God, she's a really good character. I really don't have a favorite, to say the least, but we got it. But thank you for watching my review of this show. I look forward for next week's episode, and I'll see you soon.